Hello, welcome everybody to the Hot Slice podcast brought to you each week by Pizza Today magazine. I'm creative director Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor of Pizza Today, Miss Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Why, hello, Josh. It's so good to have you back on the podcast. I feel like you've been hiding away in a room,
Yeah,
creating graphics for the last, month straight.
yeah, this is peak busy season for our department, getting all the signage ready and the promotion ready and the apps ready and this, whatever else is um, going on for Pizza Expo, which is only 5 weeks away at this point.
And it's solid, y'all. It's the competitions are closed out. You're gonna go on wait lists for competitions. The a lot of I think there are a couple spots with some of the pre-workshops, but you'll definitely still be able to sign up for those. But man, it's all filling up. It's so good. I love this. I love this time right before Pizza Expo where we're kind of in that final push.
We have a lot of good vibes around this show right now, and yeah, we expect it to be just crazy big.
Yeah.
Um, when we get there and that first day, it's always kind of overwhelming. But we have a great team, and I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. And we actually were just finalizing some things with the Pizza Today booth. So y'all need to make sure you get to the booth because we've got some surprises that I'm not going to
Working
tell you
on-
about.
That's what I was working on today was the Pizza Today booth and some of the walls, and it's going to look really cool. So
It's
yeah,
going
you'll
to be very cool.
it's going to be actually called the 40th Pizza Expo 40th Anniversary Lounge. But
Yeah,
Pizza Today our team will be in there as well. So we're going a little all out this year for the 40th.
got to. We got to. It's so fun. Speaking of big things, we just came off of two really big days. And by the time this airs, it'll be another big day. So we have National Pizza Day, Super Bowl Sunday, and Valentine's Day all back to back. So if y'all are tired, please take a little time to yourself if you can possibly do it because you need it.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect storm
Yeah.
this week, with I think the Super Bowl is a little later than it normally is. It's usually the
Yeah.
first week of February. So all this being together within a week is just outstanding for our pizza industry, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And actually, you have another one coming up because Fat Tuesday is actually the start. And a lot of people do a lot of specials around Lent too. Some non-meat options around there. And it ends up being huge. Whoever does those Lent specials, I know like in Louisville, lines out the door for those folks.
Yeah, and then right on into the NCAA tournament. So yeah, these guys aren't getting a break. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's,
Just ride the wave, ride the
ride the
wave.
wave.
I
Ride the wave.
love it. I love it. Well, we have a guest on the show that's been riding a great wave.
Yeah.
We have Odie O'Connor from Boxcar Pizza in Portland, Oregon. And, Odie opened his shop up in the middle of the pandemic. So he's got a special kind of grit. Yeah, for those that opened up during the pandemic, y'all.
And there's quite
You,
a few of you out there. I
there
mean, I've
are quite a
talked
few
to quite
of
a few
you.
of them, and
Um,
it's a special person to do that, and I
Absolutely.
respect the heck out of it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, once we got in the conversation with him, we found out that hey, he's starting a new spot, so we got to hear all
Yes.
about that. So,
I like
yeah,
it.
it's
We got some first look kind of things going on. Maybe we just we got the scoop on it. We're like a major daily getting the scoop on the new things happening.
yeah. Odie was excellent. What a very nice person. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys here in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's just jump right into it. But let me preface it. So his pizzeria is vegan Detroit style. So good. You got to go to his Instagram, see what it looks like. It is, oh, fire. Awesome.
Absolutely nails it.
All right, now let's just jump right into our conversation.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
Okay, so there we go. Hey, Odie, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
You good to be here.
Yeah, and it's a Monday for us all, and it's actually we are recording this the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday and after National Pizza Day. Are you tired? Do you need a break?
How was that week?
Yeah, at this point it's kind of I operate at a level of just like always kind of tired. But it was definitely a big weekend for us. National
Good.
Pizza Day was great, and the Super Bowl every year is pretty awesome too.
So tell us a little bit about the boxcar concept, about what you have going there, because I really love your concept.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So we started in 2020, which was wild, and
Crazy.
yeah, it's a vegan Detroit style pizzeria.
Mhm.
Before I had Boxcar, I had a food cart called Baby Blue Pizza, which we were doing vegan wood-fired pizzas.
Wow.
And then in 2020, this space became available, and it already had conveyor belt ovens in it and everything. So, and I was, after quarantine, I was getting really into making Detroit style pizzas at home. So then I was like, well, I can just do this here, and it's already turnkey. And so yeah, I jumped on it there, and it's been going. It's been a wild ride, but it's been going really well overall since. It's a small shop, so we can keep it kind of a bare bones staff situation, which is great for the ups and downs that come. But overall, the pizza community and the vegan community in Portland are both amazing, and since we are like in the middle of that Venn diagram, feel like a lot of support in Portland for it, so it's great.
You scored really well on that building. I love the look of it, how it's
so
situated.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and opening during the pandemic was kind of like, I hate to say lucky for us because it was like such a gnarly time for so many people, but because we were just doing to go and no one was actually coming in, like I took over the lease and I painted the walls and put a menu up online, and like then I started kind of decorating the inside while we were open and like serving people, but they were just coming to the door, so it was like we'd do service and then we'd close, and then I would like plan like, okay, this is how this area is going to look, and like we'd kind of get the flow for things in real time and start selling pizzas immediately, which was great because taking over the lease cost like every penny that I had. So
well, let's tell them what this building looks like and what your spot looks like, because if they haven't been on Instagram or seen what your spot looks like in the local press, it's so unique.
Thank you. Yeah, so the general building is like it's kind of like a food court concept. There's 4 restaurants and a bar attached to each other, and we have a big communal seating area, but every restaurant has like its own entrance and like seating. We just have bar seating. So it's like a big food court, but our specific restaurant, I'm really into tattoos, and I used to be a tattooer actually. So I kind of like replicated the inside of a tattoo shop with like tattoo flash on the walls and just kind of like an edgy vibe to it, I guess you could say. But yeah, overall, like the general building is sort of like 4 restaurants and a bar sort of like working together, and we have like events and stuff like that, and the big patio we have during summer is incredible because patio season in Portland is amazing. People come out in droves and stuff, so yeah, it's really cool. I like the concept of being part of like this greater thing because it's sort of like that rising tide lifts all ships idea where, if people come for the bar and they get hungry, they'll like stop into our restaurant, or like if someone wants a fried chicken sandwich from Basilisk next door and they have a vegetarian friend, they bring them, and then they can get food for us and sit in the communal area. So it's like,
I was about to ask what other kind of restaurants are in there with you.
So there's a fried chicken spot, which is awesome. It's they're called Basilisk, and they have like tofu sandwiches and stuff like that. And then there's Tight Tacos, which is a taco spot. There's a ramen spot called Sari.
Hidden
There's a coffee
everything.
shop. Yeah, everything. There's a coffee
Everything
shop,
I'll
but
ever
their
need in
hours
my
are
life,
different.
right there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great, and you can see like these tables, and it's like they have these cocktails from the bar's called Pater, so they'll have like cocktails from there, and like ramen and pizza, fried chicken, tacos. So they have like,
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah, we got something for everyone. So it's a cool concept, and like I said, it's like I really enjoy like community about it. You know, some people in like the restaurant business, I think, kind of get too hung up on like this is my competition.
Yeah.
But living in a big city like Portland, it's kind of like there's enough people here that you know, we can all be successful.
Yeah. And I mean, you're doing a very unique thing. You are one of the only, I know of one or two other spots that are vegan specific pizzerias that are going for the square cut, like similar, you know, Detroit style. And it's so unique, but I feel like Portland is such a great place to have it. But one thing that I always think about is your customer base, because a lot of people have the misnomer that all people that go to eat at a plant-based pizzeria are only plant-based. So tell us about your you know, your customers, who's involved. As an omnivore, I love it.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So my goal from the very beginning, even before I had Boxcar, even when I had the food cart, I never wanted the selling point to be that it was vegan. I just wanted it to be this is really good pizza that happens to be vegan, you know? I feel like the vegan scene, not so much anymore, but maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the selling point of products was like, this is vegan, you know? And it wasn't necessarily like, this is super good, you know?
Yeah.
So from the get, I was like, it just has to be really, really solid pizza that happens to be vegan. So
yeah,
we do sourdough crust, 48-hour ferment on that. After that, we put a little bit of yeast in it, so like the spring can get like real big, you know, that crumb.
I've
We
seen
part make our
that
doughs.
crumb. It looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, it was like working really hard to just make a great product that happened to be vegan. We've seen like omnivores, vegans, everyone come through the door, and we make it very obvious that it is vegan. But some people, you know, they'll miss that, and then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have even known that this was vegan. Like my friend just told me, and that's crazy, you know." So that's always a really good feeling when, you know, omnivores will stop in and, you know, have a slice or whatever, because the goal was never like, I'm not trying to make everyone in the world vegan, you know, but it was just like, I just want to offer this and see what people think. So yeah, it's definitely not just vegans, not just vegetarians. It's the whole yeah, totally.
I love it. Well, with the you know, I think about cheese, because when I think about Detroit style, I think of either the brick or the cheddar. People are using the white cheddar as well. So what it you know, as you were testing to kind of come up with the best option for your Detroit, you know, what were you looking at to, you know, to get a really good you know, plant-based cheese going?
So vegan cheese is interesting because it's come a long way, and there can be really bad options, you know. Some of it, I don't know how much you've dabbled into the vegan cheese, but some of it can kind of like stick to your teeth and your tongue, and it doesn't really have like that cheesy melt or stretch, you know. So we found this company, Good Planet, that operate out of Washington, and their cheese is made of coconut oil and vegetable starches, and it melts and spreads and browns just like a real cheese with like the animal proteins in it. And one thing that was a problem with vegan cheese that we used to use is like too much of it. You'd be like, this is just, it's kind of gross, you know. But Detroit, it's like you're supposed to have kind of a good amount of cheese on there.
Yeah.
So we do use a cheddar too. So we like do the cheddar ring around it, and then we use the mozzarella for cover the whole thing on it. So then the cheddar on the sides gets that sort of classic like browned, you know, really crunchy. Arguably like the best bite of the Detroit style pizza is like the cheese wall on the side.
That little crown.
Totally, the crown, yeah. So yeah, Good Planet is what we use, and I tested so many. Yeah, it was like it was tough to find one that really like replicated it. And I think that kind of goes back to like the whole idea of like vegan things, the selling point being like, oh, it's vegan, so it's good, so try it.
Mhm.
Whereas Good Planet, it really like stands up and replicates like the cheese really, really nicely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Josh, you look like you had a question. I saw it.
No, good. Good right now.
Okay, that's awesome. Some things that I think about is we're in a situation where a lot of people are having a lot of issues with pricing, product pricing, and things. Have you found it hard to price a vegan Detroit? Is it something where you're able to get your food costs in line?
So that was definitely tough from 2020 to up until very recently. I will say things have, I don't want to jinx myself, but things seem to have
Knock
sort
on
of leveled
something,
off a
right?
bit. Yeah, right. But when I originally priced my pizzas, I was worried that I was pricing them too high, because when you look at a Detroit, you're like, oh, it looks a little bit smaller than say like a 14-inch round pizza. We do 8 by 10 inch Detroits.
Yeah.
It looks smaller, but it's definitely comparable in food because it's so thick, So
Mhm.
people rarely eat an entire one of our pizzas in one sitting. So I think there's a lot of great value in it, because it's like, all right, you're getting 2 meals out of this, So
Yeah.
it's like you're paying, $8.50 per meal. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But with the pricing and everything fluctuating, I've learned that I just have to talk to my reps who I'm getting things through. Where
Yeah.
it's like the cheese, when I first started in 2017 with the food cart, I was getting a 20-pound case of vegan cheese for about like $82. And then
Wow.
at the worst, it was like 140. And that change happened in like a month.
Wow.
Ouch.
So yeah, and I was like, all right, well, hopefully we'll just weather the storm. And like a month of that, I was like, we're not, like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
So then I just talked to my rep, and he was like, all right, well, you buy a lot of cheese. I'll talk to like the higher ups here. And I've learned that they can work with you a lot, especially if it's something where you're like, I buy a ton of this from you. And also, I will not be able to stay in business if you keep charging me this,
Yeah.
So
They need you. They
just
need you.
exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a back and forth relationship. So, and a lot of them, like, they want you, then they need your sales and stuff. So having that open communication, not being afraid to be like, because that was something I had to work on too, was making waves a bit, where I've
Mhm.
been guilty of being a people pleaser in the past, and in this business, like, you will get crushed if you don't like
Yeah.
stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then when we adjust prices, we figure out the food cost, and if food cost has gone up, I'll raise the prices a little bit past what they need to go, to give ourselves like a little bit of a parachute there, where it's like,
Mhm.
okay, if it fluctuates even a little bit more, like, if we need to raise it 50 cents, we might raise it $1, because then it's like, okay, then
Yeah.
we don't have to raise our prices again in 6 months and then have this sort of pushback again of people being like, your prices went up again. So
Yeah. That
mhm.
makes total sense.
So
Uh,
you've been in the game, well, with this one for 4 years now. What's the future look like for Boxcar? Where do you see yourself here in the next few years?
So Boxcar has been such an awesome ride. I've loved it. Ups and downs, obviously, but it's really gained a following, and I'm feeling like great and like amazing support here. And I was thinking about like, what would opening another Boxcar look like? But I
mhm.
don't know if Portland, even a very vegan friendly city like Portland, is ready to have like two, because we're not the only all vegan pizzeria in Portland.
Yeah.
So I'm like, should I have two in the same city? But I was recently approached by some friends. I'm originally from San Diego. I was originally approached by friends down there who have some restaurants, and they wanted to
Mhm.
open up a pizza concept. So actually, next month, my partner and I are moving down to San Diego, and we're opening up a new pizza concept down there. Um,
Oh,
yeah, that one's going to be called Odie's Pizza Co. And
okay.
that actually naming it after me wasn't my idea, but
It sounds
I'm
good.
going with it.
It's
Thank
a
you.
great
Yeah.
shop.
Got a good
Yeah,
ring to it.
great name.
Thank you. Yeah. I never was necessarily like, I'm going to be the face of the operation, but now it's like, all right, well, I guess I kind of will be.
So what's the
But yeah,
fresh skinny on that? That sounds
now
fun.
that's going to be more of like a traditional New York style slice shop. We're going to have
Okay.
Sicilians. We're going to have square pies, 16-inch rounds. We're going to do gluten-free squares. And it's going to be, omnivore and vegan friendly. So everything we're going
Okay.
to be offering in like a meat and like traditional cheese sense, we will also have in like a vegan sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's opening up this year down in North County, San Diego.
Okay.
And for Boxcar, the past 6 months, I've been working with a new general manager that I hired. He's going to be running things, or he's worked with me since the opening, but he's stepping up into a role where he's running things now, and he's the day-to-day operations. And I'm obviously still a resource for him, and he can contact me whenever. But he was a manager I had at my food cart, and then he was managing Boxcar, and now he's stepping up to run the whole show. So
yeah. That's what I was.
I'm
I was
really
going to
lucky to be
ask,
able
what's going to happen with Boxcar? Like, who's going to run the show while since you're moving in to do the next concept?
Yeah, I'm super lucky because we have such a great crew at Boxcar. Like everyone, it's really like everyone covers for each other. There's not necessarily like bad vibes ever,
Mm-hmm.
So I feel really lucky to be able to step away and be like, okay, this feels like it can run, and I feel comfortable stepping away. And I mean, it's taken 4 years of me being there every day and like figuring out systems to put in place and trying to take out any question that could ever pop up. It's kind of like coming to this where it's like, okay, now I can step away and start on this new project down in San Diego. It's definitely always been a dream of mine to be able to start a project where I grew up.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive down there.
Oh yeah.
So partnering with these guys has really helped. And we've been friends since we were in like 5th grade, but partnering with these guys is like, okay, now we can work on building something that could be like super cool,
That sounds awesome. Now, the one thing that I was kind of taking away from what you said, okay, so you started out wood fired, then you went Detroit. Now you're gonna go New York, Sicilian, and what else? Grandma? Grandma?
We're gonna have gluten-free, yeah,
and
grandma.
Gluten-free. Okay, so that's 6 styles. All right. All right. So how was it figuring out how to test each one of those? And B, what's your favorite?
So I love, like, when I got into baking and making pizza just as like an at-home cook, I just got so into like, I became a donor, especially sourdough.
Yeah.
So I just started getting really into like making all different types of pizzas. I will say the wood-fired pizza, to do that on a scale of like a restaurant, is the most difficult. Teaching someone to cook next to a fire and like how to read a fire and keep the deck hot enough, all that stuff. It's so difficult. So it's hard to scale that at like a restaurant style. So then when I transitioned to doing Detroit, where it's like we have the conveyor belt ovens, I will say that is like the easiest way, where it's like you put it on this side and it's done on this side, Yeah, exactly. So now I'm kind of going in the middle right there, but I've always just like really loved learning about every different style and like everything. It sounds so corny, but it's like every pizza sort of style has like its own story. And I think you look into it, you're like, all this stuff just kind of comes about with people just like messing around and being like, oh, I'm going to cook this way now. And then it turns out to be amazing. And then you change history. So yeah, I've been always just like curious and been really interested about learning how to cook all the different styles. So like, and I love doing Detroit style, but I always missed when we just started doing that. I always missed like having my hands in the dough, making a round pizza, stretching it. When you make a perfect circle, that's like the most, for me, I'm like, that was just so satisfying. When you make a perfect circle pizza, it's just so satisfying. So I really missed that. So now with this new idea, this new concept, it's like I can have the best of both worlds. And yeah, I can just kind of do a little bit of it all.
So what's the footprint like with Odie's Pizza Co? Is it more of a just a takeout, or is it going to have like quite a bit of seating? How's that going to work?
So the spots we're looking at right now, because San Diego is like kind of like one of the most beautiful places. We're
Yeah.
gonna have a big patio for people. There's definitely gonna be indoor seating. The patio is most likely going to be bigger than the inside though, because you can be outside all year round down there, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the idea, but it's still gonna be fast casual.
Hmm.
Kind of like, traditional slice shop, but you can come sit down. We're gonna have like kids offerings too. So it's like if you got a picky eater, you can get like a 10-inch cheese pizza for your kid, or a pasta, chicken fingers, stuff like that. So it's a bigger concept than what we've offered in the past. Like what I've offered in the past is very kind of stripped down, like this is what we do and that's what we have. But
Hmm.
this, we're sort of casting a wider net with it, kind of more for like a family, or more towards like families and um, you know, things like that. So we're definitely gonna do delivery, dine in, takeaway, all that stuff.
In terms of marketing, what's your strategy? Well, first with Boxcar, and then maybe with if you have one yet with the new spot.
With marketing with Boxcar, the way I've always kind of approached it in the past is I there seems to be like two ideas behind it's all social media,
Yeah.
Yeah.
from my perspective. And there seems to be like two different schools of thought where it's like one, it has to be like this cookie cutter, like brand identity, like, oh, it's all so like perfect, blah blah blah. And there's nothing wrong with that. That was never necessarily like my approach. My approach was like,
Hmm.
hey, there's a person behind this.
More authentic. Yeah.
Um, yeah, we're
Yeah.
authentic. Like, I'm not trying to be like this person I'm not, I guess,
Yeah, I get it.
just kind of approach. Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm a person, you're a person, we're having an interaction. People like we're always like talking back and forth in the DMs, and it's like, yeah, I'm just trying to be a human about it, or
And that's
Hmm.
what's
it's
breaking through right now. The
Yeah.
big, it's people see the stereotypical logo branding, whatever, and they just kind of fly right past it. But yeah, being real on social media is where it's at right now.
totally. It
Absolutely.
seems like you can stand out like that, where it's like because there are so many like cookie cutter things, and I'm not trying to hate on any of that. Everyone sort
Yeah.
of has their own approach. But for me, it just didn't seem authentic to do that. I still like obviously think about it, and I try and take as nice pictures. I got one of those ring lights for the shop and stuff, and I
Yeah.
try and highlight the pizzas as much as I can. But
Oh,
I'm
they're
just also
beautiful.
trying at the end of the day. Oh, thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to be like, hey, I'm a human, and this is what we offer, and you know, yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is.
Funny when you make such a pretty pizza, it's so much easier to photograph it, right?
Exactly.
It is. It's funny too, because when I got into making pizza, like, you know, 9 years ago, 8 years ago, I still have every now and then my phone will be like, remember this from like 8 years ago? I'll be like, oh my God, like that was miserable. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm cooking them in like a 450-degree
Yeah.
IKEA oven in an apartment my girlfriend and I lived in. And it's fun. It's cool to see the progress where you're like, in my head, I'm like, wow, I thought I was good at making pizza at this point. And like now I look back at that, I'm like, and that's trash. So now it's like,
The
it's cool to
pizza
see that.
the pizza technique has gotten better, but iPhones have also gotten better, so they kind of
Yeah,
all in
It kind
one.
of goes hand in
yeah,
hand. Well,
totally.
and Josh, what I think about, he's going from Portland to San Diego. So that means doing those window shots are going to be a little easier
Yeah,
probably
for
in
sure.
sunny San Diego.
Yeah, the natural light down there, it's something for sure.
Yeah, well, that is awesome. Well, I'll leave you on one question, you said you were a big, a dough geek. What's something that you really, really are looking forward to getting passionate about, kind of playing around as a dough geek?
Um, the thing I'm focusing on right now is the grandma pies and like the grandma Sicilian pies.
Hmm.
Because those are going to be bigger, like 14 by 14s. And to do that on sort of a scale of like a restaurant, to be able, because you have to like put it in the pan, let it rest, stretch it, let it rest,
Yeah.
stretch it, let it rest, trying to figure out how to like speed that process up without jeopardizing the quality or like the crumb of it,
Yeah.
because it's just going to be sourdough, you get a slower rise on that, and you have to be more patient with it,
Yeah.
So I already have like the New York style down, although we're always tweaking with it, messing stuff with that. I already have that dough recipe down, but what I've been working on most now is the Sicilians, of being like, should we par bake these? Should we not par bake them? The par bake I really like because to me it makes the bottom crunchier and it makes the middle softer. It takes out more moisture. But some people appreciate the the fresh baked, and also from a labor perspective, when you're baking something twice, it's like, well, that's just, it costs more to produce that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've been focusing on recently. I'm really excited about doing that too, because that style of pizza is awesome. And I've always loved, I lived in Buffalo till I was 10, and like they call them sheet pizzas out there, but they're just like those big, grandma styles. And it's like, my family used to get one of those every Friday night. And so I'm so excited to offer that to people, where it's like, yeah, we have sheet pizzas now. You can come feed your family. That's like something I'm really, really excited about doing. So yeah, the Sicilians are definitely my main focus right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we cannot wait to keep watching what you're doing and see how the new spot is when it opens. So keep us posted, because we can't wait to see what happens with it.
Best of luck with everything.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on we got Instagram now.
Okay. I'll share it in our comments.
The Boxcar. Awesome. Yeah, and at Odie's Pizza is the new one.
Okay, cool. I'll share it. I'll be sure to share it in the description down below.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Sweet. All right. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your week, and good luck to you with the new shop.
Thanks so much, y'all. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.